All right, let's dive in. Lightning Web Components, dash LWC. They're really the core of building modern, fast Salesforce UIs. If you're building interfaces on the platform today, efficiency is, well, it's paramount. So today we're looking at the essential tools, the pre-built stuff that does the heavy lifting for you. Makes your apps faster, makes your life easier. Let's unpack it.
Yeah, and what's really key here, I think, is that using these Lightning-based components, it's almost like getting free QA.
Yeah.
Seriously, you get consistent styling, SLDS styling, proper accessibility, mobile responsiveness. It's all just there, out of the box. It's basically work you don't have to do, and frankly, shouldn't try to replicate.
Exactly. That's the mission today. We're going to focus on 4 critical components, the ones you absolutely need for building powerful UIs, and we'll look at how they kind of snap together to build something everyone needs, a good responsive data table.
Okay, sounds good. So first things first, you need structure, right? A container. And the most common one you'll bump into is Lightning Card. It's sort of the default wrapper for, related bits of info and functions.
Right. And it's not just that it looks nice, following the Salesforce look and feel. I think the clever part is how it guides your design. You get the standard title, the icon, but that dedicated action slot in the top right corner, that's really useful.
Totally agree. That slot is like the design system nudging you. It forces you to keep your main actions separate, keeps the main content area clean. Contextual actions become predictable.
And predictability builds trust. Users know where to look. Okay, so from structure, let's move to interaction. We need buttons, lightning button. The big win here, maybe beyond just the look, is that you don't sweat the small stuff. Focus styles, hover states, disabled states.
Yeah.
It's handled. That's real-time saved.
Weeks sometimes in QA. And the variants, they're not just colors, they're like little communication signals. You've got brand for your main action, the most important one, like save or maybe create new. Neutral is your standard everyday button. Think edit, cancel, that sort of thing. But the one to be careful with is destructive. That bright red, it really should only be for, dangerous stuff. Irreversible actions like delete.
Yeah, you got to use that one carefully. We've all seen misuse, right? A red save button, It happens. These base components help enforce that discipline, which leads to a much more consistent experience for the user.
Okay, so we've got structure, we've got actions. Now, data. Before we can, show data in a table, we often need to get it from the user. That's where Lightning input comes in.
Yeah, the input component. It's fundamental for forms, obviously.
Yeah.
But what really stands out, I think, is how it handles validation. It's not just basic HTML stuff. It ties into the platform's validation methods like report validity. So error messages look right. They're accessible, just like native Salesforce.
Exactly. And thinking about our data table example, you'd probably use an input component inside the card, right? Maybe as a search bar above the table, or perhaps even for inline editing within the table rows.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Which brings us neatly to the table itself, the real workhorse for displaying data. Lightning Datable.
The Datable. This is where things get pretty powerful, especially with larger data sets. Sure, you define columns in your JavaScript. That's flexible. It has built-in sorting. You just click the headers. It supports row-level actions like those little drop-down menus. But the really clever bit, the architectural win, is how it handles performance. It uses UI virtualization.
Meaning it only renders the rows you can actually see.
Precisely. So even if you have thousands, tens of thousands of records, scrolling stays smooth. It's not just nice to have. It's essential for performance at scale.
And crucially, the responsiveness. That's built in too, right?
Yep. Shrink the screen, like on a phone, and the Datable reconfigures itself. Often flips to a kind of stacked card-like view so it's still readable. No extra code needed from you.
So pulling it all together then, the real magic is how these components combine. You've got the Lightning card holding everything. You might pop a Lightning input in there for filtering.
Maybe in the default slot.
And then the Lightning Datable sits right below it, displaying the data. And a Lightning button in the card's action slot to trigger, say, adding a new record.
Exactly. They're designed to work together, communicate through standard events. It's seamless.
And the result? Your apps aren't just built faster. They automatically meet those high standards for usability and accessibility people expect from Salesforce.
Right. Using these pre-built blocks is just the smart, efficient way to build on the platform. So the question you should ask yourself when you finish a UI isn't just, does it work? Or shit, it should be. Does it look, feel, and behave exactly like native Salesforce?
That's excellent tip.
Achieving that consistency. That's really the hallmark of great LWC development.